What's up, guys? Sub-Zeric here, back for another VOD review, and today we're making a little bit of an international stop, not an NA player today. We're gonna actually review an EU player. This is KevinParker. If that name sounds kind of familiar to you guys, it's probably because he went second place at the Vegas Open, so that was, a really cool moment in his TFT career. But he's always just been a very solid EU player. I don't know when he actually started playing, but especially since Vegas, I feel like I've seen this guy's name everywhere. Currently, he's sitting at rank 2 EU West, but it's kind of hilarious because he is rank 2 by 1 LP. So I really wanted to put that he was rank 1 in the title, but Kevin, you really couldn't have pushed that extra 1 LP so I could clickbait your rank 1 in the title. But I do want to talk about, over the last day or two, he's had this fantastic run up. A few days ago, he was sitting like 1500 LP. Now he's like at peak, he was like almost 1800, but still like 1700 LP. So like a 200 LP climb. And he's been playing a lot of, oh, look at this. A lot of these Arcana type units. You scroll down and you see Varus. A lot of Varus in KP's match history. So I went to a VOD review of KevinParker playing Varus, seeing how he approaches this comp, because it's actually a comp with a lot of nuance as far as itemization, as far as like how you get to the final board and things like that. So I wanted to talk about it this game, and it also the big reason to talk about it is because it's probably the strongest, most consistent line in the game right now. There's a lot of talk about other lines. The statistics really like warriors and stuff like that. But I think from what I've seen, this comp stabilizes quite hard if you can hit the board. It caps out insanely high. And it's just very consistent, and this Varus unit, if you itemize him correctly, he's insane. Also, the early game is really nice if you can get to the units that item carry well. So early game here, we pick up a Lilia pair with this Wukong. We ended up selling a Katarina, which is interesting, just because that unit was nerfed. It's a little bit hard. We would have had 3 fairy Katarina, but Kevin wanted to hold onto the Wukong here, which makes sense. Wukong got buffed this patch. We're gonna hold on to just Ziggs there and go into our first augment here. Nothing looking at these that really wows me. Itemization wise here, there could be like a BT or a Shojin, maybe even like an adaptive helm, but adaptive with sword open seems really awkward, so probably not that. I don't think you want to take stars and commit to any kind of reroll comp. I guess you could play like Ari reroll from this. I don't know how good Ari reroll is. They did buffer this patch, but we'll see. Big Gains is really good statistically. Theoretically, we have Big Gains Wukong. If we had like a Gwinsu Slam, maybe we could even see that, but we don't really have anything that makes sense towards playing Wukong, so I don't think so. Worth the wait. Just not a very good augment, so probably not gonna take that. Spoils of War, a solid augment. We just don't really have a great opener for it right now. But I don't know. I guess he's looking at Dragon Spirit, but I don't really love this Dragon Spirit augment either. Especially, I guess the meta is a little bit more into AP nowadays. And we get Epoch as our final option. I think this is a really solid final option here, because we don't really have a strong enough win streak opener that I would feel confident about playing Spoils. Spoils is really about winning stage 3, but still, Epoch here guarantees a spike. We also just kind of need to pick up some other stuff here. The only thing with Epoch nowadays is you can get a little bit dizzy here. Yeah, it's just like sometimes you're not sure how much you want to do here in this spot, how much you want to roll in and stuff like that. Kevin does make the really early Shojin Slam here, just immediately, even in this fight where I don't think it even matters. Certainly we would have won this fight without Shojin, but he makes the Shojin Slam here, which I think it's interesting. I think there are a lot of people have come out as like Shojin haters and been like, yeah, this Shojin item is just not very good on Varus. You would prefer to play more just straight up like AD items, talking about like IE as being like BIS Varus, but he still needs to get the cast off. He still needs the mana generation. And so, yeah, I think Shojin, it certainly in this spot makes a lot of sense. So good to see that Kevin is down to make a slam when, it makes sense when it's just a solid item in a spot. We also just got destroyed there by a Wukong, which feels bad. We have a Wukong of our own, but I don't know. Their Wukong just seemed way better than ours. So now we're on this kind of awkward spot here. This will be a good game to watch, actually, because this is a little bit of an awkward spot. It's not a very broken opener, right? We have a Shojin slammed onto a Namzi here, which is chill. We don't have like a ton of upgrades though, where we're stuck on Namzi 1, and we have this Lilia 2 who's just kind of on our board as a Lilia 2. But yeah, we're win loss here, it looks like. Maybe we might even be able to get like a 4 loss streak here, but the board's not that bad. So we'll see. Cloak open here. I think the obvious cloak item to take here is Even Shroud, and it's on a 3 cost. You could look at that. You could also go for the glove, I guess. Yeah, okay, so he is going to go for the glove because this is a comp that really needs a lot of gloves. So it's a smart kind of like item economy idea here from KP, because he has the idea that, like, you know, I'm going to need a lot of these throughout the game. You know, the BIS might be IEIE, so if I end up going that, then, you know, I'll need that. Also, you know, Last Whisper is not ideal, but it's not terrible. But, like, you know, it certainly makes it likely that you can get to the IE. So I like this. I think it makes a lot of sense to go for the component that you want a ton of, right? If we go for belt, you really just want like 1 belt for Even Shroud. I guess the rest could go towards like defensive type items, but yeah. 3 loss here, and actually a pretty healthy 3 loss at 89 HP here. So you could look at making your board weaker here, trying to guarantee this final loss here. Also, he's holding on to these rumbles just because rumble is going to be your late game with this comp. You need rumble on the board. The only question is how are we going to make gold? And ooh, okay, I like this. That it looks like we're just going to sell off these Wukongs, get out of this with the idea that we need to hold rumble. We don't care about winning this fight because, you know, we're obviously on a loss streak. This actually, okay, we're gonna lose this fight, but this was like kind of a scarily close fight. Yeah, so at least we lose that fight. That's all good. And yeah, I don't know why we have Neil in Planner, but I mean, this board also fits together nicely, right? We have the Frost, the Vanguard. This honestly seems like the ideal opener to play this comp from, just because you get to hold on to stuff that's gonna matter later, like the Rumble. So seems really, really chill. And you get Blaster, so you could theoretically fit like Blaster units onto this board as well. All right, Rod here with Chain. I mean, I don't believe that Crown Guard is amazing in this comp. Yeah, I'm actually curious what we're looking at as far as item slams here. Because like you're normally playing towards like Tom Kench as your tank. I don't think Crown Guard's amazing on Tom Kench, but I guess it could be a way to kill the Rod. I'm really curious. And we have these gloves, which could end up being, you know, like an IEIE or something like that. But we're so far from that. Good move vibes over to Kog'Maw here. He's just a better item carrier. Looks like he is going to look at the Crown Guard here just because we got to slam something, right? We cannot sit here with 5 components sitting around. So yeah, Crown Guard, the most reasonable slam from this spot. Makes a lot of sense. It's just, yeah, I wonder, are we going to have a Crown Guard Tom Kench later? I guess we'll see. Fighting Dumb as Brick here, who has an okay board, but another one that we're going to lose to. So honestly, our econ situation has kind of fixed itself now that we're 5 loss here. All right, Stand United seems fantastic in this comp. I don't know what the stats say, but we could do a quick explorer check and just look up like Varus, and then like 4 Arcana is like the, you know, means we're playing towards that. And if we look for Stand United, yeah, 3.54, one of the most picked augments and one of the best in this comp. Yeah, only things that are better than it are like Support Golem and Blossoming Lotus. It makes sense, right? I mean, you play so many traits late game in this comp, so I think Stand United is an easy pickup here. The other 2 options are also fine. I guess you could take like Replication and go Sword and then go IE, but yeah, I don't think it's it can't be better than Stand United here. There is no shot. And yeah, Spellblade's not very good. Ooh, okay, Rumble 2, not bad. That also kind of gives us something to play around in this mid game. So yeah, we can just get this random Shen onto the board. He's also going to go onto the late game board, so this is nice. And this is our board, but yeah, like because we 5 lost here and because we have Epoch, our econ situation is kind of fixed. I really like how Kevin played Lost Streak. You know, he had an okay board. And he, you know, he slammed the Shojin. He slammed an item. It's not like he played for full open this game, but he allowed himself to Lost Streak. He allowed just kind of like the way that stage 2 went to convince him to Lost Streak. You know, maybe if he had fought some really weak people, he would have played for Win Streak. I don't know. This also makes, I like this this addition from him. Get out of, the only downside to this is that you're getting out of no, you still have Vanguard in with the Blitzcrank. So this is actually really, really chill. Yeah, you just get to play your strongest board, amp up your Kog'Maw here, and you lose Frost, but we're not really carrying any Frost units, so not bad here. And you know, the hope is that we could maybe eventually win a fight, but I mean, honestly, if we keep taking decent losses, it's not so bad. It's just we'll get a little bit low. We're gonna have to 4-1 it. We are gonna have a lot of gold with the Epoch rolls, and note that we've also just held all these Epoch rolls, and oh my god, that is a Varus with a bow, so we are definitely gonna pick that up. Is it better right now than Kog'Maw 1? I mean, probably, and we can play more towards the Blaster. The only downside is that we would end up losing, we'd lose Honey on this board. It'll be interesting to see how he fits it. I guess he could just like level up here and play random Varus. Yeah, and do exactly like this, and then just play this board with everything here. I think this makes, yeah, I like this a lot. Also gets early Pyro in, which is nice, so we can start getting those stacks. And note that he also does make Last Whisper here. Last Whisper, I think a lot of people talk about it as kind of like a suboptimal item on Varus, because the idea is that His spell is a big charge up, and then like a big amount of burst from that first part of the spell. And the way that Last Whisper works is you have to do damage for it to apply the armor shred. So Varus's like the first shot, the big boom that hits, is not getting the benefit of Last Whisper. Everything after that is getting the benefit of Last Whisper. So that's the downside to Last Whisper. The upside to Last Whisper is that, you know, if you have a bow, like what are you gonna make? It does give you the armor shred that you need. You're still getting armor shred on, you know, all of the autos after that. You're still getting armor shred on all your other units. You're still getting it on like if I don't know if the rain can hit the. I assume the rain can hit the same unit that the big thingy hits. Actually, maybe it can't. But in any case, you know, like if you would hit the same unit with two parts of the ability, then yeah, it looks like it can't hit the same unit. So it looks like yeah, we're really not getting Last Whisper on that many units. So that's why people don't like LW. But the idea is just like the crit scales well with IE, which we are certainly looking towards building here, and you just kind of have to build it when you have a bow. The other option is something like a red buff, but Kevin wanted to save HP here. He made the Last Whisper, and I think with double glove open, it's kind of, you know, it's not likely that we're going to get to IE. We do get an IE drop here, which looks nice. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess theoretically, if he hadn't slammed, we would have had red buff IE here, but the only downside would be that we wouldn't have any armor shred build, which is a little bit sus. All right. Here's the roll down. We have a lot of free rerolls banked up here already. Picking up a lot of good stuff here. The bards that are going to go onto the board. You'll see we also pick up the Tahm Kench and the Xerath here, which is fantastic. So we've picked up the entire board here. And yeah, Kevin makes a really, really swift transition into the entire board. No dizziness here. He is just playing the 8 units that go on this board, going to make the Declaw, going to make the IE. And yeah, our spell looks very, very nice. Only downside is we haven't really like 2-starred any 4-cost, but we hit a lot of the stuff. And you can see how much work this board does when you hit everything on 4-1. So yeah, really, really good roll down. Last augment here. I don't actually know what's best here. Mentorship. I don't, the statistics tend to like this augment a lot. I mean, once again, we can just like look up something like mentorship, what is it called? Clockwork Accelerator looks best in the stats. Interesting. And then Combat Caster, I don't imagine is, well, Combat Caster, the stats say is like best. Interesting. I wouldn't imagine Combat Caster would be that good because like none of these units are casting a ton. Oh, I mean, we hit support golem, so we'll probably just take that because this augment's broken. And yeah, we get a Randuin's, which is fine. All right, so this is our spot now. The only question is, at what point do we start looking to push levels? I don't think we're at that point just yet, because we're still stuck on everything 1-starred. And you saw Kevin did a quick scout around there and saw a few Varuses out. I think there's definitely a couple people with Varus 1. I don't think there's anyone in this lobby who has Varus 2 yet, but this is a very, very contested comp. But the nice thing, when a comp like this is this strong, you can see we are stomping people with 1-stars. That guy might still be greeting for, you know, like pushing levels or something. But yeah, okay, so 2 Varus is out there, and then this guy also has what? Oh, that is not good. That guy had a Varus 2. That was it's really awkward to go back on this little viewer thingy, but let me go back real quick and look. Unless that was Shen that looked like a Varus, but I thought that was a Varus there. All right. Well, we'll have to re-watch this fight, which, you know, it's fine. I mean, this board is garbage, so I think it makes sense that we beat this. You know, I mean, look. I mean, not saying. All right, I won't flame anybody because Demacian Raptor was telling me EU has better players than NA. But I mean, to be fair, like this isn't like not every single person in this lobby is like Giga Challenger. Okay, so yeah, this guy has 2 Varuses. And yeah, that's a Varus, right? That's a Varus 2. I'm pretty sure he goes and clicks on it. That's a Varus. Why does this guy have Varus 2 on bench? He took Varus off of this thingy, but he doesn't have items for it. And who is this? That's Dark Star? That's the guy who's win streaking. Oh, I mean, that's really, really bad for Kevin. Now, that guy has 4 Varuses and the other guy has 2, so that's 6 Varuses out total, then 7, 8 with ours. So there's only 2 Varuses left in the pool. Hopefully we can find one of the last ones, but yeah, you can see comp's contested. Even that guy who his only Varus item is a QSS. I don't know why he took Varus off of his reinforcement. Yeah, I think Kevin's probably fuming looking at this. So something else that's kind of interesting in this game as we take item off carousel, which is probably just gonna go. Oh, actually, is it like a static shiv? I was thinking maybe we just build towards something frontliney, but I guess we'll see here. But yeah, ooh, that charm's actually not bad. Though he's really looking to try to win this fight, so he's gonna sell a bunch of stuff. Pick up the Tahm Kench too, surely here, though I don't know what we're selling. I assume we're selling something. Oh, wow. He's actually just not going to sell here. He's going to say, you know what? I think my board's good enough against some of these other players. This is a 6 blaster setup, it looks like. Yeah, which is really scary. We do have the really tanky front line, though. So maybe, yep, we're just barely okay. And we get that big gold injection, which is huge. And we get to hold on to all these pairs here, which is the other reason why Kevin is really incentivized to roll here, right? He's not Shen 2, he's not Hecarim 2. There's still so much stuff to roll for here. Now we have Hecarim 2, still a couple of pairs here, so we dip down to 10 gold and then pick up a charm. I think it makes sense. But yeah, the other thing, there's a few things with this comp. Which unit you decide to put the charm on, or the Arcana thingy, the Arcana selector here, he opts to put it on the Tahm Kench, which I think makes a lot of sense, especially in this context, because we have a bunch of AD already from Stand United and a bunch of HP from the Randuins. I think I looked at more of Kevin's games and he just usually defaults to putting on the Tahm Kench, and it makes sense, right? You have so many traits in this comp. I know some people like to put it on the Hecarim. Looks like most people in this lobby are putting it on Tahm Kench here. We should use the remover here on this this Rumble so we get an extra remover. But I mean, unless he's, I mean, we'll see. I assume he thinks that TK2 is a better tank. I'm surprised that he hasn't moved the items already. Okay, with these two pairs, I think, yeah, the roll down makes a bit of sense. But yeah, at this point, it's kind of interesting. All right, yeah, he is going to move items over. Going to make the red buff onto ooh, and then he has to make Redemption onto the Shen here. Redemption. I mean, that feels kind of bad that we can't put it on the Tahm Kench. But yeah, he ends up having to red buff the Xerath here. I guess the only other option would have been like if we had the remover still. Well, the problem is he had the bow slammed on Xerath, because like you could think about if you had another remover, moving red buff over to Varus and then moving Shojin over to the Xerath, which I think would be better because you'd actually get that red buff applied to everybody. But I think the downside is that it's just a little bit hard to get there. That Kai is also Varus too, so I mean, this is kind of reminding me though of last patch, like Callista type boards, where you know, you would see them just hit like one of the 2-stars, like Rakan 2, and then continue to win streak. Oh my god, the damage out of that this Varus is just a Varus 1 that's outputting that much damage, 8k, like it's light work, man. That's crazy. Ooh, I mean, okay, so if he takes this, then he has to push level, right? So yeah, he levels here with barely any gold left, but it is a decent amount of econ. I don't know how much we just got from that charm there, like 12 gold or something like that, maybe more. So that is, yeah, it's definitely not bad. And this can allow us to push 9 and actually cap out, because we're probably, it's going to be hard for us to hit Varus too. So what we need to do is just push levels. You know, when you're in a spot like this where the value of rolling is very low, then the value of pushing levels becomes a lot higher, just because you'd much rather roll on 9. Maybe we can find some kind of alternative carry for these items. You know, maybe we'll throw them onto like a, I mean, they're not that good on Smolder, but they're not that bad on Smolder. So we'll see. I assume we're looking for, yeah, just tank item, last item for the TK. And so now our items actually look really, really nice. We have the final item for TK. And yeah, he's just looking at the units that are going to cap out his board, getting preservers onto this board. Interesting that he put Zillion in the planner and then didn't pick him up the first time around. I'm not really sure what that was, but you know, we end up getting the Zillion in the back half anyway. Get preserver in here, which is nice. Obviously, there's a lot of 5+ that you can fit on this board. There are even versions that end up playing like Briar if you want to fit Shapeshifter in with Nasus. Looks like we're probably not gonna do that this game just because we don't have any Briar items. But yeah, hey, look at this. We stomped the 6 blaster player. This is really, really big for us, because once that person dies, our odds of hitting Varus are a lot higher. But I mean, Kevin's just played a very, very consistent, very, very strong game. He's saved a lot of HP, which means we know, you know, like we're contested and that sucks, but it's going to be okay. Skip over the Melio there is kind of interesting as well. I know this is a unit that you can theoretically fit on your board. You would have to get out of some of this other stuff, like we'd have to potentially cut Bard. And he thinks the Bard 2 is stronger. I mean, it makes sense. He doesn't really have the board to full pivot to something like Melio. Obviously, you would lose if you cut Bard. You lose a lot of traits here. You're losing 2 full traits for the Melio. And, you know, is Melio enough that you want to lose all those traits, especially when we have Stand United? I don't think so. So we win another fight. That player that was Varus does end up going down, which is huge for us. Darkstar is also really, really low as well. But I mean, at this point, now that one of the Varus contestants is out, it's going to be very, very easy for us to hit Varus 2-star. So yeah, I mean, I like the spot. We pick up a remover here, obviously. Nothing too crazy here. There's the Varus 2, finally. He's looking at Lightning Strike, actually. Ooh, the Sun, 32 gold. I mean, you definitely pick up the Xerath too. And yeah, he's going to lock for it. I mean, I think it makes sense. Static Shiv, probably the best Varus item, or the best Xerath item that we could have taken from those. But yeah, I love the lock here because, you know, it's not like we're going 10. There's not really much else for us to find on this board. The Zillion is perfectly serviceable. So I think playing this board makes a lot of sense. And also, man, I feel like we're fighting so many clumped up people where the Varus is just chilling. So we have to log for one more round to get this Sun, but I mean, it seems fantastic, right? If we get that, I feel like it all but, makes certain that we can win the game just because we're going to cap out so much higher. That person is holding on to some karmas. I just saw dumb as bricks. Is that a karma 2 on bench? No, I think it's just 2 karma 1s. They don't look very big. So then they're quite far off karma 3 if that's the case. So don't have to worry about that. Varus, big ults on the front. Man, this Varus does so much work. Even with like the quote unquote like suboptimal item of the LW, he's still doing work here. We're gonna pick this up. Look for a item for Xerath. I guess Zanya's would be the idea. Yeah. And then just something for our kind of our front line. Ugh, are you taking Spite? Okay, he's just going to take the Zeeks here and move this to back line. I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's just, yeah. I mean, at attack speed, it's also kind of nice for this Xerath that we already has so much, but, just to make sure that we can get him casting. But yeah, one more fight here, probably against Dumb as Brick, and this fight is not even close. I mean, it really, really just smoothly played a game out of KevinParker. I mean, throughout that entire game, it looked like he was in control. He knew what he was doing. He made really, really solid slams. When you watch a player like this, it makes TFT look easy because this game did look easy. Like he just coasted through the entire game. But it shows the power of the comp. And other boards that statistically might be really good, like Warriors, just get absolutely stomped by capped Vera sports. You can see why it's so good. It caps so high. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check my Twitch channel, my link down below. Thank you guys for watching.